But astrologists versus astronomers. Is astrology a science?
Do you love middle ground?
No.
I know I do. Did you know that every purchase made
Why are you
at Jubilee
talking
Shop
in my
helps
right ear,
fund
bro?
this show? If you're looking for ways to support Jubilee and watch more episodes of Middle Ground, make sure you check out our merch at shop.jubileemedia.com. Honestly, every one of your purchases goes such a long way, and we're so
Astrology is a real.
Now enjoy this episode.
I don't have science to prove why I believe what I believe. It's just astrology has no.
Let her dumb man say that one more time.
Purchases goes such a long way, and we're so grateful for you. Now enjoy this episode.
Yeah, appreciate it, bro.
I don't have science to prove why I believe what I believe. It's just astrology has not led me wrong.
Is there a way you can tell?
I don't have science, aka I don't have proof that what I believe is true. But I feel like it is.
If you're wrong or right?
Well, yeah,
in
because
astrology?
I speak to my clients.
I speak to my client. Yeah, you're scamming people. She's scamming people. Astrology ain't real. You can believe in whatever you want. But all this, I'm a Pisces. I'm a Taurus. Oh, you're a Scorpio?
I'm Ian.
I don't
I'm
give
an
a
adventure astronomer and astrophotographer. What I love about astronomy is sharing the passion of the stars with people.
That's cool.
I question science all the time. That's the whole point about science.
When I hear of astrologers, I think of people who kind of need guidance. Astrology is not a science. Science is something that requires proof, something that you can...
Oh my God, I love this group already. These people, they own your ass. They not playing none of that. Oh, that little nonsense y'all
I
be
think
talking about.
astrology is just a belief system, and I don't think it makes sense. It's not really
Yes, sir.
a
Ashley
science.
got that.
I honestly a belief system, and I don't
Bro, that's like, they bigger than your whole body. Like, they don't even, that's like not even your, like.
think it makes sense. It's not really a science.
Ashley.
I honestly believe that astrology just makes people happy.
Yeah, I think it's just something people do.
Hi,
just
my name is
in
Trenton.
their
I'm a
meantime.
spiritual analyst. I definitely believe astrology is a science. We have discovered so much about the metaphysics of things and energies that are
Y'all don't have
hidden.
science to
I
do
think
it.
my study
Yeah, what's up,
benefits
Cody?
people because
Welcome back on.
the greatest gift that you can give
Ebony.
someone is
What
self-knowledge.
an interesting name.
It gives us our own little map of ourselves.
I believe that zodiac
you.
signs are totally relevant.
What's on her head? What's on her head? Alright, bro, we're just chilling watching
But
these
they're just
astronomers.
a basis of a much deeper
Astronomers
practice.
versus
They're the tip of the
astrology.
iceberg.
Is astrology a science?
Step forward. if
And
you
basically,
agree.
they about to get their dream shattered.
Astrology is a sham.
Yes. Of course, yeah. I mean, this is an obvious question. Like, they're just trying to start the
You can
conversation.
believe whatever you want to believe in, as long as it makes you happy, doesn't hurt others. But personally, I've just never really understood how, especially since we all study stars, how something that's so far away and that could potentially be gone could affect you when you were born. It just doesn't make sense to me scientifically.
One of the things
He
that
coming
they don't
with
account
facts.
for astrologers is as time passes by, there's this thing called precession where the Earth's axis actually makes like a rotation. And these constellations were set like 2,000 years ago. And they still assume that these are the ones that are where the sun is when you are born. And also, you can't split them apart equally because each constellation has different sizes. You don't have the sun in one for 30 days. You just don't do that.
That
And
makes so much
look,
sense.
let's be honest. You can't divide people into these neat
Groups.
categories.
Based
There's
off when they
almost
was
8 billion
born. Like,
people
they
on
could
this planet.
control
You're gonna
it,
tell
like,
me
shut
that
the
there's only
fuck up.
13 categories of what we are.
Exactly, it doesn't make sense.
Right. I
I'm
think
loving
sham
this.
is kind of it's a negative word, but
I don't care, it's
from a
true.
scientific standpoint, we don't see that there's evidence that we can't make predictions on people's lives based on the positions of the stars.
Can the disagreeers come forward?
Yeah, bring it. I want to hear this. It's gonna be hilarious.
I practice Western tropical astrology. And so the tropical
Western
system of astrology goes off of the equinoxes and the solstice. It has nothing to do with the constellations, what you know of astrology in the Western world.
I'm also specialized in tropical astrology, and that's just one system in astrology, right? There's
Tropical? I thought there was
tropical
like a
and sidereal.
flavor,
Those are the
bro.
two
What
systems,
are
and
they
they're
talking
separated
about?
by 23.4 degrees. It all depends on what system works for you.
So does that mean you have like a choice, or you see what everything means, and you're like, okay, I want to pick that one, I want to study that one?
It's based off of what really resonates, right? And you'll know what resonates with you. You'll get this inner feeling through your chakral system,
Chakra,
and
bro.
you'll
What
know
is
right
this,
Naruto?
Whether you
Naruto?
resonate
Chakra,
with Vedic
bro?
astrology or Western
y'all
astrology
talking about?
depends on whether you're more interested on using astrology for predictions or whether you're more interested on using astrology to understand yourself and validate and affirm the things that you feel in yourself.
You say astrology, meaning that the stars do matter, right? So what part
Bro,
do
she
stars
looks
play
like
in
she's so
Western
ready to just
tropical
crush their
astrology?
dreams.
It's not so much being born around the time that the constellation is in a certain place in the sky. You have this chart wheel and it's divided.
A birth chart is a snapshot of the sky at the moment of your birth. It reveals the precision location of each of the planets and which constellation they occupied as you entered the world. Bro. The fuck am I looking at, bro? It's like some shit I seen in math.
Equally in 12 parts. So the rising would be dependent on that wheel,
They showing me
what sign, and not
Naruto
constellation,
chakra
but what
symbols,
sign,
but I don't-
depending on the tropical divisions, is on the eastern horizon. Then the rising is the first house, or it's the cusp of the first house, and there's 12 houses.
What does that mean? Because I hear that, and again,
Yeah,
I'm
like,
not familiar with it. It just
what's
kind of
going
sounds
on?
like a lot of
Gibberish.
Gibberish.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you think of a
Bro,
clock,
I'm good, I'm good. How
the
about you?
hands pointing to the numbers is not time. They just represent time. So it's the same when you think of the stars. The planets, where they are in the chart, are not the energies that we're looking at. They're just representations of those energies. It's just the realm of possibilities that the way that you express action in your life could show up.
No, because it's so dumb. Because the people that really believe it, they try to act. They're living their life trying to be on that same thing when it's probably not even really them. And they judge people. I hate the judging people based on when they were born. Like, people really can control that. Like I don't know. Like, they say that if you're this, you're just a bad person, or you're not faithful, or you like, bro. How do you know that? You don't know me, and it's so dumb. Like, you can't use this stuff you looked up on Google for like real. Like, come on, like, this shit don't make sense. They just be talking at their ass. Like, oh, I muted them.
Different planets in astrology. It's just to give characteristics on the specific energies. To touch
Like
on a point
energy,
that you
like, bro,
brought up,
what?
like, how can we be here and planets all the way out there? How are they affecting us? Energy cannot be created or destroyed, right? We all heard that in our science classes growing up.
stop looking
So
like that.
we are all bits and
That's
pieces.
not necessarily true. This is like essentially you're talking about like kind of conservation of energy and stuff like that, right? But like we live in a universe that
I feel bad for some people they get important to do. Exactly, like these people, like her and her little group, they really proving it. They're researching and they're learning real things. They have proof. But then you got these people like this. They're just on Google, just making things up, and like apparently she's like her client, so she's like getting paid or like some whatever to like tell people these lies or these like potentially false information, just to make people feel better. I mean, if it's like something you look into for your own self and you believe it, fine, whatever, do what you want. But like for spreading it around, like, bro, it's dumb. It's like so stupid.
for example, maybe
And
infinite.
using it to
We don't know.
like
and
identify
we never
people
can
is super dumb.
we're limited to a specific distance to how far
Like
we
when
can
people,
see.
when I see
I
like
guess-
anybody with that stuff in their bio, like I'm a Pisces or say this, bro, I'm instantly blocking them. I don't care who you are. Like I don't want to be part of that because you're already like, come on, man, really, like really.
What I was getting to is we're all bits and pieces of energy. So everything that exists in our universe
got time
is
for that.
energy,
I
right?
think that we're getting confused with our definitions of energy. I think that's where the like we have a different definition
Yeah,
of like more
energy,
scientific definition
I think they're
of
using it
energy,
different than how
and you
they'll
guys
use
have
it.
more of a
It's
Good day tomorrow when a miracle happens and I find a new phone under my pillow. Wait, what? When a miracle happens and I find a new phone under my pillow, what does that mean? What? Polo, what-
yeah, like a
what phone
personality,
pop
like
under
spiritual-
my
yeah, like
pillow
that, like
tomorrow?
Yeah, I think there's
spiritual
for science, like they have to be very careful about how they use the term energy because a lot of the times it can get hijacked, or even delving in the world of like quantum physics, they use the word quantum in a way that it's not supposed to be represented as.
My beliefs are supported by science.
Tooth fairy.
So
That's what you're talking about?
you guys are probably like, astrology is not a science.
That's what it says
Uh,
in my
but it is.
horoscope. I have a good. Oh, my bad. I was like, what, bro? You just copied and pasted something or something? I don't know. In your horoscope, like I'm gonna look at it. Send me. Well, no, I'll say it's gonna block it, but
Because
we're
it's
gonna
it's its
see
own
for a second.
separate field. Astrology has been
My beliefs are supported by science. Well, I mean, wait, what?
Supported by science.
Interesting, because only one from
So-
each group, even though I assumed that the people on the right were like fully proof, like had full proof of that.
You guys are probably like, astrology is not a science.
It's not.
But it is, because it's its own separate field.
It's not.
Astrology has been a practice that has been used.
Astrology has been rejected by the scientific community as having no explanatory power for describing the universe. Astrology has not big words. Yeah, no. It basically is saying no.
Used for civilization.
You probably couldn't see it
Now-
because my
Science
face
to
cam,
you?
but
What
it
does
says
science
no.
mean to you?
Now, a science
Bunch
is
of big
anything
words, but
that
no.
can be applied to the practical realm. I know we were saying a lot of talk about, oh, this is interpretive.
I know I
or
use
this
Google,
could
but,
be
like, that was
used
the
for
first thing that
predictive
popped up.
measures, but it is something that is practical, right? I have to use math and I have to use other basic science skills in order to pull up a chart. I'm looking at degree placement, right?
I think that
Bro, they cap.
fields could use
Bro, think of it a follow.
science and still not be science. So you could use math and science and it still not be a science.
Exactly.
I think
So
science
What's
comes
your
with,
degree? I'm sorry,
of
what's
science.
your definition of science?
I think science comes with fact. There's a scientific method. So you start with a theory and then you prove it at the end. Say we randomly discover a new planet in our solar system,
love
okay?
that.
Will it change
And-
what you guys
Absolutely,
believe?
because
Theories.
that would be something that we'd have to
Knowledge.
sit and try to study. We'd have to conduct research on that planet, just as well as you guys would have to do. You guys would just be applying it in a different way. So I definitely look at our field as a science.
It's just you want to sound smarter than what you actually
my
are, bro.
beliefs backed by science? No, they're not. In fact, it's the opposite. Most scientists would say that I'm crazy. Do I believe that astrology is a type of science, a soft science? Yes, because I
that's
study
more
psychology, I
believable.
study therapy. There are people who say that therapy and psychology
way
are
more
not
believable.
sciences. I also think that psychology and therapy are soft sciences. They're not rooted in the scientific method. They are rooted more in the person, in who that person is, in the potential of that human being, and their energies.
But there's a difference there because in psychology, we could
Bro,
scan the
then that is
brain and
back,
see the
bro. I
chemical
just wanna-
imbalances. We could see what's missing. We could see the neurons firing. We could see exactly why
Bro,
things are
of course it
happening,
is.
and we could prove that. So
But you can't
But
always
we
prove
can-
the treatment.
But we can also
The
look at
treatment
a
can always be
chart.
proven.
We can also look at a chart and look at how the energies are interacting.
A
with the
chart
person
made
and
by
correlate it to
somebody
what is
in
on
their
the-
room full of a bunch of rocks and stones with tapestry on the wall. That's who made the chart. Nobody who's really like, knowing what they're talking about, professional in the field. It's just somebody who just made the chart up, right? Like I don't know.
Chart.
I don't
think
know.
energies
Like
and,
I want to see. I just want to go to the sites that these people use or like where they get their information from. Because I promise you, it would probably be hard to find. You won't see it off rip. It's something like probably just somewhere on the internet. Like it's never gonna be like some realistic factual stuff. It's always just something made up. Soft science still uses scientific method. Really?
neurons
And
and,
I
things like
know
that
I
are
keep using
different. Yeah.
energies, and that's also
It's
what I'm
like-
trying to say.
I don't
Somebody had to be like, why is that energy?
You can like this
affecting
stuff.
me in
It's
this
just-
way? Somebody
it's
had to
just-
sit and
just learn
study
how to
these things. A team had to
Use
do
something
research
else
on
to.
these things.
I don't know.
I don't have
make
science to
sense to me.
prove why I believe what I believe. It's just, I've been studying this for 7 years and I've been practicing professionally for 4 years. And astrology has not led me wrong. Like, I don't miss.
Is there a way you
I
can
don't miss.
tell if you're wrong or right?
Well, yeah,
in
because
astrology?
I speak to my clients. I never tell my clients, like,
And like the thing is, okay, with her clients, like I feel like it could be kind of like a placebo thing, where it's like you think you're getting this, but in reality it's nothing. Like kind of like that. I think that's what's going on with her clients. Like maybe since she told them this, they're just in their mind, they're just making it like the truth to them, and they're just like making it feel like it's actually, real. And I think that's what's happening with that, like with her clients, because you can tell somebody like something and then just convince them enough to believe it, and then they'll just go with it and roll with it. I think that's what's happening with
this
that,
definitely
'cause-
happened for you,
No
and
way.
if you don't agree, then you're wrong. I'll say, oh, this could be an indication of this. Is this true? And they'll say yes, or if they say no, I'll say, well, maybe it can be interpreted in this different way. That's also where the interpretive thing comes in, is that it doesn't play out the exact same every time, which is
What
why
shoes they
it
got
can't
on?
be pinned down by
And that's why you
science.
can't call it a science, because
Yeah.
it's not reproducible. Science is something that
It's
is
constant.
rigorously tested, and it's stuff that's reproducible. You have to be able to reproduce results. What astrology is interpretive.
Guessing.
So you
basically.
might misinterpret things because it's not really reproducible. Like you're not going to always get somebody right. The reason why I didn't step forward for this prompt was because I think it's irrelevant. Like I think beliefs are different than facts, and you know, I might
that's a good
really
reason.
believe in God, for example. I might, right?
That's a cold read.
And
It's called
that's
the
not
cold
backed
read.
by science.
Scan technique.
You know,
A
science
cold read? I
is
never heard of
science,
that.
right? So it doesn't matter if I believe astronomy. It doesn't matter what I believe. It just is or isn't.
Okay, now that was a good. Okay, I'm glad they explained the reason why they didn't come to the floor. Because I was like, obviously you would think they're astronomers. They, they use real facts. So, but I get what they mean. I get what they're saying.
Objects influence people's mood.
No, talking about these little stones. This was a gift. I'm wearing it because
if
I
I'm
care about the
driving
person
home,
that
maybe I
got
had a
it from
bad
me,
day
right?
and I see the moon coming up. It's so
I don't
beautiful.
know what this stone
Like,
do. I
How
don't
can
know.
that not?
Like if a stone making me rich tomorrow, let me hold it or something. Like if this is really that true, bro, come on now. Like let me get all these rocks overpricing y'all for these little stones. They scamming y'all, bro. They
Not
scamming
affect your
y'all.
mood, right? It's just so gorgeous. I do a lot of astronomy
pretty, though.
outreach.
They're
You know, I
pretty.
show people the planets or the moon through telescopes. A total solar eclipse that we've seen, we were all like in tears. It was just so beautiful. So yes, definitely things that happen up there can affect.
You know how the moons affect bodies of water, right? The closer the moon is, the higher the waves are. The farther away it is, the lower the waves
mean,
are,
that
right?
makes
That's
sense,
why
yeah.
we have tides. Kind of, sort of, right? But
about
we're
rocks,
made up
though.
of 70% water. The moon in astrology talks about our intuition, our
Oh, well, they're talking
feelings,
about
our
celestial
emotion.
things.
There
I'm
are
tripping.
so many other planets and celestial bodies that are definitely doing that. So I'm so happy that you said yes, because it is definitely true.
I'd love to know what you think about the correlation
that's a
between the
50-50.
28-day cycle of the moon and the female hormonal cycle.
There must be
What?
something there. I'm not an evolutionary biologist, so I don't really know.
Yeah, I'm a Cancer rising, so I feel the moon, and I know from personal experience that, yeah, planets affect the mood.
No. Wait, what?
I'll
the
have
fuck?
to say I
What
really
she say?
The moon.
I don't really know.
Yeah, I'm a Cancer rising, so I feel the moon, and I know from personal experience that, yeah, planets affect the mood.
What? I don't get what she was
I'll
trying
have
to
to say
say.
I really liked your interpretation
sounded-
of that.
sounded off in the
because
beginning. That's
you
all I
know,
was
when,
looking
I
at
mean,
that.
the moment that you
Bro,
stepped
this
up,
is
I was
net,
like, okay,
bro.
I know
Just
what's
go.
coming.
Bro,
I know what it is because I do agree on that. I mean, look, Mars is really far away. What is Mars gonna do, like, you know, to my mood? It just doesn't. Even the gravitational force that we experience between planets that are further away it's really nothing.
Can I ask what makes you say that with such certainty?
Because I do physics, and so I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
how gravity, like the force of gravity works.
Sure, but we have plenty of anecdotal, I guess you could say, evidence.
Well, the thing is, if you believe something, right? Mm-hmm. You already believe it. And then the thing that I really have to mention this, like the thing that you mentioned about the correlation between
I hope
like
she get on her ass.
women's
It's-
periods and
He
the
feels
moon. The moon is
emotion.
moving away from us.
Fucking
So eventually,
I don't
it's
know,
not.
bro. I'm trying to be respectful and hear them all out. I don't know what she's talking about. I can feel the fucking moon. I don't know. I really don't. All right, that's why I'm watching this video. I'm curious.
We're gonna orbit in this
I hope this lady just hits them with fucking facts, because I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
in the same way. And so, what then?
I think
So,
there's a
Cal,
big thing
what's
right
that
now
doing, homie?
that we're using between correlation and causation. I think that's another big divide that we're seeing right now. Like when people are like in a mood or like they're really happy and they go outside, they're like, oh, there's Mars or
Bro,
the
this
moon is
gnat,
full
bro,
or
I'm about to
whatever.
just-
That
it's
doesn't
annoying.
make
It's been
sense to
bothering
me,
me all
where
day. I can't kill
people
it.
can kind of not blame their behavior but associate it with what's happening. Like, there's a correlation, but we can't see the causation of it.
Right.
So
And I
that's
guess
the
that
problem.
goes back to my my argument that I posed earlier about how energetically things are affecting us. We're affected by this energy, even if it's so many light years away or if it's right here in front of us, right?
Okay. Now, what if I were to tell you that, let's say, you know, Betelgeuse is what is it, like 400 light years away, 600 light years away? If we saw Betelgeuse go supernova, right? Some astrologers might say, oh my gosh, that's affecting us. That happened 600 years ago.
Right.
So why is it affecting me now? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything that you see, like if it's something that's 4 light years away, you're seeing it as it was 4 years ago,
Right.
not as it is today.
I only can go off of planets that are actually like like in orbit, like
rap
the moon,
battle,
the sun,
astrologers
our
versus
basic
astronomers.
planets, including Pluto.
know what they're talking about and
Those
who
are the
don't,
only things
basically
that
what
I
the video
really
is.
focus on.
So let's
Bro,
just
this
go
is
back
bro,
to
leave me
Mars
alone,
and
nigga.
say Venus, right? Because Mars has all these like really rough and angry qualities or
bro.
whatever.
Learning, you guys are learning.
Yes, and Venus has all these beautiful, calm and peaceful qualities. But what if I were to tell you that if you were to go into Venus and sit there, you wouldn't even make it because the pressure would just destroy you. So how is that peaceful? And you know, like what is that like? Where does this come from?
There are no good and bad planets. I just want to let there's a highest expression and there's a lowest expression. Mars is not evil. It can represent aggression. It can represent anger. It can also represent action and motivation. Venus
they're
is
just
yet
using
love,
big words at this point.
relationships, beauty. It can also be manipulation. Like
I'm
there's
telling
no,
you, big
oh,
words.
this is a
When
bad
they use
planet,
big
this is a
words,
good
people be
planet.
feeling themselves.
There's
Hyperbole.
levels here. There's
Onomatopoeia,
duality.
like,
There's highest
what?
expression. There's low. There's
I can't spell
just
half
think
of
it's
it.
Like,
Most of
me
it.
and the planets, like they're my people. So like we just got let's.
I know, like, bro.
I believe
This lady's being, these two are being really cool about it. They're just, they're just listening, but she's over it, bro. She's so fucking done. Like, she's like really like, bro, what the fuck? Like, bro,
in
she's
zodiac
over it.
signs and their
She
predictions.
really regrets coming. What was the question? I'm sorry.
zodiac signs and their predictions.
All right. Meat and potatoes right here, man. Zodiac signs. I'm curious about this, and you only saw one guy walk up. So that's interesting too. Why didn't the whole little gang come over here?
I definitely do believe in zodiac signs and their predictions and what they could bring. And it all depends on
No.
how you're tracking the energy, how you're also communicating whatever it is that you can get from the energy to a client. That's basically what my job is as an interpretive astrologer, is to break down what I see on the chart and to communicate it in a way that you would
Okay,
understand.
yeah. Totally care, man. Crazy.
I just like was hesitant
Alright.
about coming up with predictions
It was that word,
because
predictions.
it's the word predictions.
'Cause that's what
I'm
it
not
is,
of
it's
the belief that
predictions.
astrology is necessarily a science because I don't consider myself a scientist. And
You just scam
astrology is such an
What tend to say,
interpretive
cold read.
practice that using astrology as a predictive tool sometimes does more harm than good. It can
people. Bro, she is like, why she, I don't know. I just peeped her. I peeped how she looking, bro. Yeah.
create a lot of anxiety, and sometimes it is inaccurate. You're going to get human error in some sort of interpretations.
I have a lot of friends and a lot of people around me who believe in astrology.
Yeah.
But my thing is, I've had so many of them be like, "What's your star sign?" So I always tell them, "Well, guess. What do you think I am?"
Yeah, that's
and
a
then
big
it always
question
ends
that
up
them with
being wrong.
wrong.
Or like I'll finally tell them afterwards, and I'll be like, "I'm this," and they're like, "That's so Virgo of you." That doesn't make sense to me. So that's why I
yeah,
don't
they
personally
don't-
believe
yeah.
in those star signs. I know
That's
that you
so
guys
Leo
discussed
of
that,
you.
but that's why
I'll
I
knock
don't
your ass.
disagree with what you guys said. But that's why I disagree with the prompt that was read out.
With sun star astrology or sun sign astrology, that's where it can get carried away. It's actually the rising that's most important because that starts your chart.
What the sun represents is our own sense of self. And when you first meet someone at a party, how much are you going to be able to know off the bat from your first impression of them?
Bro,
they're
bro, it don't matter. You supposed to be God or something, right? So I'm gonna give you these few little informations and figure it out. If you get it wrong, I'm gonna hit you in your chest. It's over with, bro. I don't care.
sense of self is.
Exactly.
Watch what video.
What
next.
I think is that because we live in a world where we don't know people at all, if you have a way to be able to somehow describe who this person is when you just first meet them, it makes you feel safe. And that's why I feel like, a lot of people take to astrology.
People, like, they think astrology puts them in a box. Like, oh, you're a Capricorn. This is the only way you can behave. This is the only way you can act. It's like, no. Astrology is very much about
Yeah, I'll probably
the
check that out on my new stream,
possibilities,
Tanya.
not necessarily
I gotta
this
get
is
back
what
to doing
you
my
are,
work.
this is what you do, this is how you act, I don't like you. No, it's just like, this is what could possibly happen. This is the expression you could possibly take.
Would you say that
I wish more people
everyone
thought like
has,
that. I wish more people thought like that. Possibly, like it's not you. Like I said, you can believe in what you want. I do not care. But as long as you don't just judge people and just bash people or whatever they be doing. If you're this or whatever your zodiac is, like if you believe in it, okay, you can talk about it. Have a little discussion. Like possibly this is you. Possibly, and that'd be way better than how
all
people act about it
possibilities
now.
are available for everybody?
Yes.
Well, I mean,
And to a certain extent, even if you are, like, say, a Virgo sun, your Virgo sun could be
I got his ass.
affected by a certain
got his
relationship
ass.
with, say, Mars.
W stream
so
just
it's
'cause
not
of
like
that.
you're just this and you
my
can
knees.
only be this. It's like, no, you've got this.
my
You've
rage
got
shit.
to, sprinkle of something of this. It's people don't like me putting in boxes, which makes sense, but that's totally not what I don't think what we're doing.
It does, though, kind of sound like you're still compartmentalizing
Well,
things.
to the point of like there's 7 billion, 8 billion people in the world. How can you categorize them in these boxes? But the deeper that you go into astrology, the more nuanced it gets and the more personalized it gets.
The other side
You should've let her
doesn't
keep
fully
talking, 'cause I'm
understand
curious, why
the
do you think
study
that?
of celestial objects.
Bro, they just big for no reason. I'm sorry. Respect to her. She's
So
nice.
of two minds about this. You guys are doing something that's very scientific and practical in what you're studying. But just because something isn't practical or scientific, you can still study religion, you can still study the Bible, the Torah. I don't even think it should necessarily be equated to your study.
For like astronomy, like there's scientific rigor.
Yeah, I'll
into
check it out later.
How
Well, I'll
we
check it out,
understand
once
and how we
after
know
this
what
when I
we know
understand.
now. Standing on the shoulders of giants, all the people who have studied it before us, and now we know, and we can prove what they've studied is correct. It's very like factual.
I'm, from my point of view as an astrologer, like I'm like, yeah, no, things are definitely factual based, and like astrologers sat down and they've come to a common consensus of what things mean based off of where they're placed, what energies are placed on them. That's what gives them more of the component of what the planet may mean.
Yeah,
I think
guess.
again that's where the divide is, because when you guys could think certain things are fact, but I hear you keep bringing up that it's interpretation. So there's so many things going on way far away that we know about that, like you said, you don't really have the necessity to know about. I think that there's a lot of stuff that you guys interpret that we've disproven in a way, or that we've seen evidence for just going completely against it, negating your guys' points. So I think that's kind of where that divide kind of comes from.
Okay.
One
Okay.
is the loneliest number.
Yeah, shut up, dog.
Yeah, I would never sit here and say that, like you don't know what you're talking about. But also, like, I don't think you can fully understand anything. I think you can go to school. I think you
Yeah,
can do the
facts.
work.
I agree with
think
that.
You can have a very good grasp.
You ain't
on
gonna understand
something,
a lot.
But you can never fully, like, we're talking about the stars and the universe and the planets here. You
Pick
can't
up the
fully
vibe.
understand.
That's what I've been doing.
Nothing in regards to that.
Gaming been kinda
You read
boring.
the stars.
So I've
You
been
read the
uploading, like,
cosmos. You
these,
understand
reactions. It's
all
been-
of
it's
the
been pretty fun, though.
sciencey
I'm
things.
really
You said
enjoying
you
it.
I was like, the character? Is he coming is he here right now? For me as an astrologer, I study the stars, yes, but I also study people. My job is to work with someone one-to-one. I'm showing you what I see, but I'm also showing you what I see from you as a person.
Would you say astrology is more along the lines of like human psychology?
Psychology, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Depending on the system that you are studying.
Yeah, definitely.
It kind of means like that what
Oh
astrology
yeah,
is
she
like
talking
for
again. I love when she
fulfillment.
talks.
In terms of what benefits.
Because she
humankind.
questions
I
all
mean,
everything they say.
Physics, astronomy literally brings us, cell phones. That's practical. But we also, as
Squeeze
human
me.
beings, like to have things like art, for example, music. I need music. If I didn't have music, then I might, So it's kind of like there's a fulfillment thing, and I get that.
My belief is that balance is extremely important. And the way I see it, like logic and science and all of these things are
what you talking
one
about?
end of a spectrum. Like, to get a little spiritual, it's like yang energy. And we're representing, in my opinion, a bit more of the yin energy, the human element.
Bro, you talking about
And
that
I think that it's
yin
also
yang, bro?
important
What they
to
gotta-
do what you can on a person-to-person basis, and that will help humanity.
All right. Great. Thank you so much. And that's a wrap.
We didn't kill each other!
Nah, I feel like I would have upped the blick on somebody. They would have had to cut the video. Bro, that was a W video. I ain't gonna lie. I wanted to watch that because I was interested. That's Chinese zodiac. But it was a good video. That was a good video. I was clear. Like, okay, Lila, here go the comments. Okay. Crystal healers and geologists. That'll be. Oh, they're talking about crystal healers and that'll be fire. Cause some people that be, oh my god, the crystals. Oh yeah, that's gonna be fire video. Hopefully they do that. Y'all know I'm gonna be on that video if it do come out. It's a science because I use math. Honey, I use math in Dungeons and Dragons. That doesn't make it scientific pursuit. The comments are gonna be 100% hating on the astrology though. Best part, astronomer. Well, I'm not in evolutionary biology, so I wouldn't know. Astrologist. Well, I'm a Cancer rising, so I feel the moon, and I know this is coming. When she said she feel the moon, bro. Oh my god. Well, I'm a Cancer rising, so I feel the moon, and I know this is coming. Ghost. I'm a Cancer rising, so I feel the moon. Bro, the moon. Like if it's just something to do. All right. At this point, I think learning that stuff is just something to do. I didn't know people thought astrology was a science. These astrologers remind me of the politicians. Oh, I don't care about that. As someone who's studying psychology and therapy, I was so mad that she called psychology a soft science and equated it with astrology. Astrology is a big, bro. I'm done reading that comment. It's too many big words. Basically, they're just saying these people, astrologers, are ridiculous. All right.